Thank you, Alec. We're going to have some fun here over the course of the next 40 minutes. It's a Sunday here on 105.3 The Fan. Will Chambers, Bobby Belt, Alec Medford here with you. You can find her on Twitter at Kelsey_Charles, on DallasCowboys.com, SB Nation, covering the Cowboys. Welcome in. Mike would be good here. Thank you.
Come on, Alec.
Did you...
He was like, listen, we're going to bring her in, but don't
He's only 19 years old. He doesn't know what he's doing.
I thought we agreed on 17.
No, I told Zero. You were on the text this week when Zero said it was 19. But anyway, no, Alec is actually very good. I'm just trolling.
It's fine. I'm loud enough that I feel like I could actually just yell and between one of y'all's
you could
mics.
project.
Yeah.
it's fun hanging out with Kelsey. We just actually met for the first time a month or so ago.
Yes.
Watching the playoff game, and it was like I could hear her Twitter feed from across the room, which is, and if you follow it, it's great. Very entertaining. Did you find a vet, by the way?
I did. My poor little kitty boy is in the vet.
Hellman?
Yes, him too.
That's the nickname for him, right? Your kitty boy?
I thought it was baby shoes or baby feet.
Baby shoes is another. Yeah, but I don't know. I like kitty boy. I think I'm going to start using that one.
Yeah, that or Tej, depending on my mood.
Tej, that's a good one too.
Tej is the old school. If you've been around for a minute, the tiny Jim Trestle, that was when our friendship really took it to the next level.
Exactly. With those sweater vests, my goodness.
Yeah. I can't fully take credit for that, but I'm still going to perpetuate it.
It's a good one. I will say though, one of the things, and I'll let you mention the vet. I get excited and distracted. I'm like a squirrel. I will say that one of the things about Kelsey Charles is that, you may see certain people on Twitter and then you get to know them and then you're like, oh wow, this is a totally different vibe than they're on Twitter. Kelsey's Twitter is Kelsey.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's great. It's authentic.
I also trying to ask you, do you think my Instagram, I love a good filter, but hopefully I'm not catfishing people. I hope I still look how I, present
you got
myself.
You got invited to Greece.
1,000%.
I did get invited to Greece.
How's that going? You going?
I might have forgotten to reply to said invitation.
Forgotten?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. We talked about how Kelsey was available a couple weeks ago. We're trying to find her a date on the text line. And so somebody's been hitting her up on DMs and saying, do you want to go to Greece?
Why do I do this to myself? I don't know.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Hey, why not 877-881-1053 on the truckwreck.com text line.
We are really fueling this?
Shoot your shot.
Absolutely.
Shoot your shot at Kelsey Charles.
I would love to get the best pickup line as possible. So if you actually genuinely want to shoot your shot, let's hear it. Let's go.
Yeah, give it your best pickup line for Kelsey Charles on the truckwreck.com text line, 877-881-1053. Also, last time we did this, I got somebody texting in doing the whole wow, you are just a pig. You're a pig setting Kelsey up like that. It's I know Kelsey, but all right. Thanks, bro.
She's just having fun with it, guys.
She has her protectors here.
It's not that serious.
She does. Yeah. Calm down. We're good.
Yeah, we're totally fine.
We were having a discussion about LeBron and the Lakers and that situation there, and he usually leaves a dumpster fire in his wake.
Yeah.
For organizations, and then I thought it was funny as we went into the break. The question being, would you rather have the championship and then have it a mess for the next 3 years or so? Or would you rather be relevant?
Like the Rams?
Well, that remains to be seen.
The Rams very well could.
It could be.
Think about other sports. The Marlins have done that. The Marlins won 2 titles doing that. They did a title and then they cleaned house and were terrible for years, then won another and cleaned house. And so, generally it's not sustainable.
No. But I wondered, I was asking Bobby, I was like, I'm interested to hear on if Cowboys fans will be in on that.
Yeah.
And one of our Tolos from a buddy, Amityville in New York, Chris, he said, well, here's a question slightly spun. At this point, do you think Cowboys fans would rather have one ring or another decade of this stuff?
I think they would want the ring.
They would.
I'll be totally honest with you because if you think about it too, Bobby, you made a comment about sustainability. Even if you do go full send like the Rams have and just, and for, if you want to say they've mortgaged their future, if you want to say they haven't, whatever, I don't care. We all know that they have truly stacked this team to try and make it happen and make it happen now. And quite frankly, it obviously worked out. I feel like even if you didn't have that strategy as a front office, when you do win a championship, you're going to lose some of your key players because, like you said, it's not fully sustainable. In the salary cap era, this is what we're dealing with. You have guys that perform well or at least get to that level, and even if they don't stay on your team, some other team like Jacksonville is going to pay them. And,
right.
if you're pro player in terms of, hey, get your money and get your money now, because the lifespan of an athlete is 3 to 4 years on average in the league. If you're not one of the top of the top of the top, then I think that's totally kind of what happens. So if you subscribe to either of those two narratives, I think you're a win now versus a, hey, almost get there for 10 more torturous years.
Right, but I guess the conversation always gets taken to, well, does it have to be that you don't win? And I don't want it to be that way because
it just plays out that way usually.
Right, the more chances you have to win, the better, the more opportunities you have to have a very good team, the more opportunities you have to win. Mm-hmm. Whereas the window for the Lakers was very small. Now the window for the Cowboys seems to be open. However,
I think it's closing, though. I think 2016 to about now, I think you're getting on the back end of a window here. Because 2018, 2016, 2017, if not for a Zeke suspension, you're talking about 3 years in a row in the playoffs there. 2019, they were one of the best teams in the NFL. I think they're in a run right now that can be qualified as a window. And, you're going to have some tough decisions about Amari Cooper and DeMarcus Lawrence and some big guys that, okay, do we want to move on? Do we want to preserve our future? Or do we want to pull a Rams and let's restructure some guys or pull a Saints.
I was going to say the Saints,
yeah.
My goodness,
yeah.
Who manages their cap? That must be a terrifying Excel sheet.
It was Sean, basically. Sean just would restructure and go okay, y'all figure it out now. Good luck. But that's the thing is that you can do these restructures and buy in. I think that I would guess the fan text and most fans at this point would be okay with a Rams approach. Yeah. It's been 26 years, and I think they're just give me one again.
Well, the question I have is that do you have the right types of guys? Because I felt like for me, this is the year that I believe that they had the most talented roster since the mid-90s.
Right.
But do they have that type? I said the week going into the San Francisco game, this is what's going to show me what you are all about as far as your mettle.
Right. Yep.
Do you have it? And this is why we've heard from Emmitt Smith, Drew Pearson, Troy Aikman, that have all been incredibly critical of this team because, when they were in those situations, they stepped up. They said, this is, we're going to go out there and be our best. And you didn't see it.
Yeah. And honestly, it's funny you say that because I was having a conversation with someone about a very similar topic. And I was like, when the season ended, I tweeted something that game and was like, it's so frustrating to be in a position where you feel like you have all the pieces and you can't get it done. And, in the heat of the moment, Cowboys fans are rightfully so upset. And there was a contingency that was like, what are you talking about? We don't have all the pieces. I'm like, no, yes, they do. For all intents and purposes, they do. Especially, again, I keep saying salary cap era, but it's true. They really do have a decent contingency of top level talent in most position groups for this team. Most. You can't possibly have a perfect team. That is literally unattainable. I'm sorry, it is. We don't have magic wands, although I'm sure if it was available, Jerry would buy it. And
you'd hope.
And you would. And in terms of I feel like it's a super frustrating place to be.
This isn't baseball. You can't be the Dodgers.
Correct.
Do you think people buy that anymore though? The line about if there was a magic wand available, Jerry would buy it. Do you think? I think we're getting to a point where I think
Absolutely.
for a long time fans have believed it. I think fans are starting not to buy them anymore.
Well, that could be possible, but I think for sure that Jerry wants nothing more and would do anything to win. I think he just wants to do it in his way, and whether he's right about it is up for debate.
I agree with that. I think there's a large section of fans these days that is starting to just say, we don't believe that you really want to do that. You kept us with Jason Garrett for 10 years. You didn't do a thorough head coaching search before you just went, Mike McCarthy's our guy. Things fell apart this year. You made no changes, really, after you basically said it was the coaching staff. You didn't make any changes to the coaching staff. I just think that, and like I said, I don't agree with it, but I think there is a section of fans, because I see it on the fan text, I see it on Twitter, just an increasing number of fans that are just going I don't believe it anymore. I just don't believe your desire to win because I'm not seeing it.
Yeah. Well, between that and the conversation we were just having about the former players who have obviously they're legends in the league and also for this team, it feels like on paper you're like, hey, listen, if P then Q, this should work out. It should make sense, right? And you have an owner who said he'll do whatever it takes, but yet it's just not happening. So you kind of feel like you have to come up with some alternative solutions, and explanations to make it all make sense because it doesn't feel like it makes sense. And so I personally, I'm not in the locker room, but you kind of have to wonder, well, is there like an inflated sense of confidence being, part of this team because of the nature of, the high profile Dallas Cowboys, or is there distraction? I don't know, because again, like,
it's just hard to get in their head, right? I mean,
it's like, how can you not get it done when you feel like you 100% should be able to?
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of people that will say, and it's been said before, well, you had Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Like Troy, Emmett, Michael, they're Hall of Famers.
Sure.
Well, you want to know how they got to the Hall of Fame? They stood in that tunnel and looked at each other and said, we're going to go out there and show them what's what. Like, we're going to go show them who we are.
Yeah.
And I think that you have guys with enough talent. Look, you lost to San Francisco, okay? It was just not a very good team. I mean, they're good enough to be in the playoffs, and they deserve, but they...
It was a bad style fit the way the Warriors were a bad style fit for the Mavericks in 2007. Mavericks were better. It was a bad matchup. And that's what people kept trying to tell fans leading up to that week when they're like, it's San Francisco. But I mean, I think that's the reality of that. I think that was a bad matchup.
See, I actually think the 49ers are a good team. I just feel like...
I think they're good. I don't think they were better than Dallas.
100%. Like, that's my point, is like, good teams beat good teams.
Sure.
And so like, that's where my head's at. Like, I don't think that they
wouldn't beat Green Bay.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't think that they were better objectively. So it should have been the end result that we end up getting. So I just, I don't know. Like, it's frustrating me, a Cowboys fan.
Well, it ultimately does come down to, although I will say a lot, and I think most of us agree with this, that when we use wins and losses as a quarterback stat, that's not correctly done. But it does they play the biggest role. And I thought, especially the last 2 years, Dak Prescott to me was elite. That he presented every single element of what you would need and what you would want in a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Yeah.
And with what I saw in the last part of the year, and certainly in the playoff game, I can't say that I'm coming off of it completely, but my confidence in that statement has really shaken, and that's similar to what Drew Pearson had to say. I wonder where you're at now with Dak.
It's actually kind of funny that you bring up Dak, because I was doing a show the other day, and my co-host Megan Murray brought up this clip rather.
Shout out Meg, she's awesome.
And Stephen A. Smith, of all people, was defending Dak Prescott, and I was like,
was it to Mad Dog?
Yeah, yes. Mad Dog was trying to say that
Kirk
Cousins is better than. I don't know. That's
listen.
That's Choppy's hero, by the way. Choppy loves Mad Dog.
Really?
Yes.
Guys.
But I mean, it's just like Choppy goes like, he's whatever now. But like Choppy just loved the entertainment value as a younger man. He loved listening to him.
Well, yeah, I also liked listening to things before I knew better. Like, it's just like,
Kelsey.
I'm dead serious. Like, national media is not in the building, and they have to come up with storylines, and that was one of them. But I do feel like it was interesting, at the very least, to have a guy like Stephen A. who was like, bro, what are you talking about?
Like Stephen A's like, even I can't get down with this bit.
Yeah, he was like, I don't even know if he breaks the top 10. I'm like, what? Again, like, you could be frustrated with Dak all you want. I don't think you can deny his talent. Am I going to go as far as to call him, in the same exact conversation as a Tom Brady and an Aaron Rodgers? No, I'm not. And it's not because I don't want him to be. It's not because I don't respect him. But I just feel like he's moving towards that. I definitely think he has to kind of get some things done, and that would include postseason, and that would include, trying to make the run for him to truly be in those conversations undisputably.
He has to be better than he was.
Right, the opportunity was right there for him, opposite of Jimmy Garoppolo, and he didn't take it.
Right.
And I think that we talked about offensive line, right? Especially with Joe Burrow getting to the Super Bowl with what is, without a question, a weaker offensive line than the Dallas Cowboys.
Nah, in the second half of the season, their offensive line was pretty bad, though, Dallas.
It was, but what does Joe Burrow do that Dak does not do? He has more confidence. He will throw the ball to receivers that he does not see open. And Dak
I think we've seen Dak do. I think we've seen Dak do it in the last couple of years. I think that his confidence got massively shaken when he started getting banged up. Yeah. I think PTSD basically from the 2020 injury into the shoulder injury, then into the calf. I think he just started questioning his own durability, and he wasn't comfortable behind that line, and it was causing bad. Because I mean, you look at the Tampa game and some of the throws he was making earlier in the year. He was like threading the needle and taking some shots. It was just a different player. And by the way, text line. 940, cash it all in, grab the Super Bowl in 2023, then I'm fine, become the Jacksonville Jaguars. A lot of people on here just saying, yeah, absolutely. I definitely swap that out. I'll be bad for a few years.
Yeah, I mean, but I do want to go back to your point about like you saying the mental aspect, and this is 100%.
Which that's always been a big check in his favor, has been the mental aspect.
Yeah, and I'm not calling him weak whatsoever, but
No.
I don't think that. And again, these guys are privileged AF in terms of what they get to do.
What does
for
that
a living.
stand for?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to. I can say those words on my podcast. I just
okay.
put an E, but like I feel like I'm gonna get like an invoice
I'll have to Google that.
from someone over here on the fan, and they're like, "Ma'am, you said these words, and we can't pay for this." Yes, precisely. And so, anyways,
You guys enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
I should be on the late night show, honestly. Like that's really where
That's
I
your
would
speed
thrive.
right there with
That
the
is-
nosebleed boys.
Yeah, straight up. But genuinely, like I feel like in terms of what they do daily, like sports is such a mental game. Like it really is. You see kickers all the time. Like that is like a massive part of what they do. And I do have to wonder if, the pressure becomes just even just a little too much at times, or are we taking care of our mentals? Like is that really truly a massive component of preparing for the game each week? And I don't know, like I along with every single one of you, I'm sure, grapples with why not? Why hasn't it been able to happen? And I have to kind of start to look at some of the intangibles and be like, okay, like maybe we could elevate ourselves in that area a little bit more and place a little more emphasis on that part of the game.
817, the station is ridiculous. Always making excuses for Dak. He was awful last 8 out of 10 games. Did we not just say that for the last 15 minutes, 817?
Hey, all right, just Googled Kelsey. I wish I had a good pickup line. Well, you are
Yeah,
in
we'll
the
do pickup
minority
lines when we come back around.
because
I've marked them down.
There are a few good ones in
We'll
here.
come back and do that before
We'll see
we
if
do that.
Kelsey agrees with that.
You'll have to vote for the best one.
Oh, okay, let's go.
Well,
I really do want to see them, guys. Like, please send them out. This is like pure entertainment.
Yeah,
Please
and
do.
she does not have the screen in front of her. I do.
I'm collecting them.
Yeah, all right, good. We'll have more with Kelsey Charles as we continue. We will shoot the breeze with the beeve, asking the internet with Kelsey Charles next here on The Fan. Hanging out with Kelsey Charles on loan from DallasCowboys.com and SB Nation. Will Chambers, Bobby Belt, Alec Medford here with you on this Sunday afternoon on 105.3 The Fan, your home of the Cowboys. Hopefully you've had a great weekend.
Can I ask a question really quickly?
Sure.
I don't want to out you guys,
Yeah, I know it's weird.
but there's an interesting setup at your desks right now, and right next there's a big bottle of daily moisturizing lotion
What are you getting at?
right next to a bottle of Lysol and
Yeah.
like Clorox. And
At least it's not next to a box of Kleenex.
I get ashy. What's your problem, Kelsey?
okay, well,
It's wintertime.
I'm gonna push this
It
out
is
of
winter.
my space.
How do you think we stay so young and fresh looking?
Exactly.
Moisturize. Before we get
that's what it
to shooting the breeze with the beeve.
We do have your
Speaking of
pickup
which,
lines for Kelsey.
Let's get to some, Bobby.
All right, so 817, are you Dez? Because you definitely caught me.
Oh, that's a good one.
Also 817, Kelsey, I was the same person. Kelsey, I was wondering if you're an artist because you're so good at drawing me in. 469, that you misspelled that 469. Sorry, can't read that. 808, well, here I am. What are your other two wishes?
Okay, that's good. I've seen that one before.
720, hey, Kelsey, you dropped something. Your standards. Hi, my name is John.
Shout out to my friend Katie Stevens, who's definitely listening right now, and
Hi,
that is
Katie.
the truest thing we've heard in a
Katie's
minute.
so nice.
She is so nice.
817, is your name Wi-Fi? Because I'm feeling a connection.
All right.
682, have you ever been in the military? Because you're major cute.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's good.
Got a couple more real quick. 817, you look a lot like my second wife. I've only been married once. 469, Kelsey, did you sit in sugar? Because that's a sweet ass. 214, if you were a vegetable, you'd be a cucumber.
Those are good, guys.
What wins? What's the number?
No,
what's the
there
one?
was another one in here I got to find.
I must have
That
missed
was
it.
Good.
Wait, before I choose the winner, I will have to tell you guys, like, if I ever get on Bumble, I hate having to be the person to start the conversation, because it's like you have the same conversation with like 10 people and you're like, hey, how's your day? Like, I already want to die because this is a very tragically boring conversation interaction. So I always like lead with like a really bad pickup line just for the sake of my own
So you're
entertainment.
going to steal some of these?
Yeah, I might.
I'll email them to you.
But I need to hear y'all's thoughts, because like I go with like the whole like, I think my phone's broken. It doesn't have your number in it.
I always loved the, and it got used in a movie afterwards, but I always loved the line that people would use where, just because it was funny, where it'd be like, here, does this smell like chloroform to you? That was just a funny icebreaker.
Oh, man.
That was an icebreaker.
Hopefully you didn't use that on your wife.
I didn't. No.
Yeah. Interesting.
I don't think I've ever actually used a pickup line outside of being sarcastic. Did you, Will?
One.
Yes and no. My normal is, I don't know. People, I've said it before on the air, and people are like, man, that's so lame. But I'm like, maybe I do it with a lot of I just walk up. I was like, somebody, if I see a good looking girl sitting down like by herself, like at a bar or somewhere like that, I was like, hey, mind if I join you?
That's not a pickup line though. That's just like intro. Yeah. That's confidence. Right, so that's what I mean. Like,
yeah, because stuff can be funny but I just never think of anything like that. Maybe if I had some in the Rolodex I would use, but that's it because I just want to talk.
There we go.
So that's really it. I did hear one that was good. There, back in college.
Careful.
Are you deciding if this one's okay or not?
Ooh, 214, very on brand pickup line. Hi, my name is Nathan. That's it. That's the line. That's a very inside joke for Kelsey. That's a true Kelsey Charles fan right there, 214.
That one has to win, I think.
I may regret this.
I'm triggered.
When I lived in Lexington, in college, myself and my two best friends, one of which now happens to be my brother-in-law, we lived above the most famous, most popular bar there, Two Keys.
Okay.
And we were always having like parties and stuff like that. But if I was talking to somebody in particular for a while, I'd usually be like, all right, I'm going home. You coming?
Oh my God.
That's a good one.
It works more than you think.
There we go.
And then there was another one I had heard.
Does.
Somebody, and this was like an anecdote. I think I saw it somewhere on Instagram, and I thought it was pretty good. Where a guy goes up to this girl at like Starbucks, and he asked for her help. Like, hey, so this girl I got a crush on, and I'm trying to figure out a way to approach her. And they were talking for a second, and he said, "Here, do you want me to show you a picture?" And he turned on his camera on his phone and turned it around and showed her.
I mean, I think that's like a little creepy, honestly.
No, the way that it was set up was good, which I didn't do a very good job.
I think honestly, like what I'm going to actually start doing is trying to pick up guys in like Whole Foods or something like that, where I'm like, okay,
hey, that'll a lot of guys will get down with that. Like, oh, great, pressure's off us. You're going to pick us up. Sweet.
Well, I just have to envision, like I have to come to the conclusion that you actually cook your own food and you know how to operate, like, I don't know, an oven, a stove, like things like that, where at this point in my life, I feel like we shouldn't be making like pizza rice. Like, I don't need that. Okay. So like maybe if you can make eggs and know how to make them at least two different ways, you get the bars on the floor.
Oh, there we go.
We should have a combine to date Kelsey.
Be great. I said they need to do Bachelorette on DallasCowboys.com.
Okay, let's get to here it is. Let's shoot the breeze with the beef.
I gave the beaver a hot bath.
Just rapping with the fellas, shooting the breeze.
My name's Beaver.
Beaver? Is that your given name?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm shamelessly stealing from a deck of cards today. Kelsey's feeling that music. It's good music, isn't it?
We vibing.
Vanilla too much. So
I'm like desperately trying to find these pickup lines that I knew was pretty good that I saw like a week or so ago.
This is a deck of cards produced by KFC Radio over at Barstool Sports, Answer the Internet. But they stole it too. They just aggregated all the best questions off the internet that could turn into a card game.
Nothing is new anymore, guys.
No.
So I'm going to hit y'all with some of these. I picked the most sports ones as possible other than a couple, just so that we don't have to get too far off topic.
Wait, so what are the instructions? I'll be honest.
I'm just going to ask you these questions. These are Answer the Internet questions, and cool. You guys can jump in on the truckwreck.com text line if you want. 877-881-1053. But we got a couple questions here from this box. First one, if you had one free throw, and if you make it, you get $1 million, but if you miss it, you never get to text again. Would you shoot it, Kelsey?
It's called a free throw for a reason. Make it.
But remember, there's repercussions. If you can't make it, like if it clanks off, do you feel comfortable?
I'll get a beeper. I ain't worried about it. Like, yeah, like it's fine. We'll figure it out.
Okay. All right. You just have to call people.
But I'm really good at free throws.
Will?
Yeah, I'm shooting the shot.
I take it too.
Absolutely. If I can't text anymore, I'll call you like, look, dude, sorry. I mean, I can't. I can't text anymore, so it's what's what.
It might actually be good for me
You
not
could
to be able to
email.
text anymore. Yeah, that's fine.
I see. I
The
would.
AIM again.
I would take it mainly just because, my jump shot is drippy. I can make that. I'm not worried about it. Alec, are you taking the shot?
Sorry, I'm recovering from you
drippy?
saying drippy.
Not me.
Yeah, no, I'm taking the shot because I already hate texting, so I can live without it.
Good. So we're all shooting our shot.
Alec,
That's
are
good
you
to know.
young enough to use the word slime? Is that a thing that's in your vocabulary?
I mean, I'm 20, so I hope so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Slime?
Slime's just, yeah, like people use that a lot.
Well, it happens
Even
quickly.
if I was younger,
Yeah.
I would not want to use that one.
What's the connotation?
Like my guy, like slime,
He's over here
Like
like
a
laughing
person?
at us. It's like, look at these like
like a
geezers
buddy.
online.
I 1,000% ignorant on this. I've never heard that.
Will, I'm telling you, it happens quickly. Like I didn't
Yeah.
know.
I'm
about,
telling you,
like,
it's like dude, like yeah, like what's up, slime, like that.
Suddenly,
But I would never use it.
uncool, and it's terrifying. Okay, what's the next one?
Would you rather fight a short gladiator or a rhino?
These are amazing.
So I'll go first since Will is
Well, I
just
mean,
stunned silent.
no, it's
Will
because
still
it's an
like
obvious one
Will
to
did a full reboot when he heard slime.
How short?
He's still
Yeah, I know.
he's still booting up.
It's still, you still see the apple
Hellman short.
in the line.
Oh,
just to be able to reference that Hellman short. No,
No, it's obviously has to be.
no.
the-
Let's say 4'11",
how about 4?
4 feet tall. No, four. I say 4'11".
versus a rhino.
But it's
like not even
look.
comparable.
What kind
Look.
of weapons does a gladiator have?
In this picture, it looks like a spear and a shield.
Okay, well, I'm gonna take the
So,
gladiator.
so imagine Russell Crowe. You have to fight Russell Crowe from Gladiator, but he's 4'11".
Okay, cool.
Or
That-
a rhino.
But I can have like modern day weapons, right? I'm just adjusting all the
Oh,
rules.
that's
You
right.
like how I'm
no, you
painting
can
this
add your
narrative?
rules how you see fit.
Yeah.
I say you get the same weapons as the Gladiator, whether you're facing the Gladiator or the Rhino.
Well,
No.
then what weapon do you have with the rhino?
A sword or same thing.
A sword?
Yeah, a sword or a spear or whatever else.
No, I'm gonna bring a gun.
I'd rather fight the Gladiator.
Look,
That's a
right.
human.
Yeah, I'm taking
Well,
the gladiator.
I mean, I thought we were talking like bare hands here. If I have
Why
a
would the
weapon,
Gladiator get? But the Gladiator shouldn't get a weapon and then you get nothing.
yeah, but I thought literally it's just a fight
no,
with the
no.
gladiator. So
I mean, I'm
now
just
I will
adding the
go
rule.
opposite of that because the rhino I can take. I mean, if I have some sort of weapon, I can bob and weave.
You're
Get
really
up
confident
underneath.
about this one.
Yeah.
We should just roll down to Dallas Zoo. And
I would, yeah.
Not that
well,
I'm-
they're endangered. I don't think you can do that.
Oh, okay.
Alec, what are you
Doing
fighting?
Indiana Jones with the like Kelsey saying, bringing a gun to the knife fight.
that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Who said you gotta fight there?
I thought that was Untouchables, not Indiana Jones.
I know.
No.
I
Gun
don't
to a
watch
knife
movies,
fight.
so
the
I
guy
don't know.
comes out with all the swords and he just pulls out the gun and shoots him.
I've never
Oh.
watched Indiana Jones.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm dead serious. I've gotten like in the first one, I've gotten to the same point 3 times and I get bored, and it's when he's in some tent in a little laundry basket with some girl.
I love
in
that you've
India
tried
or something.
3 times.
Yeah, I've tried 3 times and I stop at the same point every time, and I'm bored. Alec, Rhino, or Short Gladiator?
Give me the gladiator.
Yeah,
Plain and simple.
I think that's easy.
I've had to reboot. I've had to like full reset like 3 times now. Or I'd like you thought Indiana Jones was boring?
Yes.
Oh, you shouldn't even. You're in the wrong room to be talking about movies and whatnot with.
Oh yeah, no, she's seen 3 movies in her. That's not an exaggeration. She's maybe seen like 10.
100%.
So,
and let me tell you, every guy that tries to date me is like, I'm gonna solve that. We're gonna put you in a.
You never watched that movie I bought you.
I don't know.
What is it? You can't.
Okay, but also, who
Can't sit
owns a
still?
DVD player anymore? Real
How else was
talk.
I supposed to do it?
I cannot even put a DVD in my laptop anymore.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Apple's like throwing you the middle finger, like get with the times. Like if you don't want to adapt, like we're forcing you.
If you trained your son from birth to his 21st birthday to fight a gorilla, would he stand a chance? So he spent 21 years training and he's in the
Hell
prime of
yeah.
his. Would he stand a chance?
Against a gorilla?
Yes.
My child's gonna be a baddie. I ain't worried about
The
it.
answer is absolutely no. A gorilla would.
Absolutely
What?
zero chance
No, a
whatsoever.
gorilla.
Yeah.
No.
Gorilla-
Do you know how strong a gorilla is?
Do you know how long 21 years is?
Yeah, it's a long time.
Again, we haven't
Almost
spoken
as long
about
as the Cowboys have gone
context.
since they won a Super Bowl.
Oh, come on. Salt in the wound, Bobby.
Alex not even 21 yet.
It's
Yeah.
like, would you take one of like the Spartan, warriors like from 300? Those guys, they were all like trained. Well, you haven't. Have you seen 300?
Yes.
I actually have seen 300.
Okay,
Congrats to
right.
me.
So,
One of 3.
from birth, they're like taught how to kill. and a gorilla would waste them. I mean, with
gorillas.
both hands, boom, and just
Gorillas
break
just,
them in half.
They'd ragdoll you. Alec?
No.
No, they wouldn't stand a chance.
No.
So if you had been spending, you wouldn't, if you had an extra year here to fight this gorilla, like in your life, now that you're 20, like if you'd spent the whole time, you don't think, like Tiger Woods, like he was trained to, like, slay the golf course from a young
I
age.
thought you were.
Oh, careful,
Boy,
Will.
I think that was going in a different
Well,
direction.
this is God's
for a
day.
moment.
It's Sunday. You need to calm down. And you know what? Since we're running late here because we spent so much time on the text, I'll ask one more, but it's not even from the answer to the internet. It's from the text. Answer the text. 817. Would you rather fight an orangutan once a year or a chicken every time you get in and out of your car?
Wow.
I love that
The
one.
chicken.
Give me the chicken.
I can kill a chicken.
Man.
easy. And then we'd have dinner.
Plus,
I
it'd be
think that's
great
a little
content.
tougher.
Do you what? How?
Just because the nuisance of getting in the car.
I'd be just so annoyed. Like, oh, these freaking chickens. God. Whereas I can really work for a solid month on. Because orangutan's not that big, right? I'm having a hard time picturing.
Let's see here. Orangutan size.
I think I would just like have like a routine where I'd like kick the chicken and then get into my car every day.
Exactly. Just go full Brian Anger on it and you're fine.
For the record, I am not pro ever hurting animals, and I will come for you if you do.
4.5
But, like,
to 6
Boy,
feet
the
tall.
discussions you must have had over the years with Jeff Kavanaugh.
Literally combining us in a room, like ADHD kid like myself, where I'm
Yeah.
just like squirrel, like all the time, and like
You are Doug from Up,
Yeah.
which you may not know that reference because you don't watch movies.
And that's why
Males,
you can't watch movies.
54 inches in height, average male orangutan, weighing 191 pounds.
oh my goodness, that's a large.
I'm not saying I would lose, but I wouldn't want to fight that once a year. I'd rather just fight
Yeah,
the chicken.
no.
So, I don't know. Anyway,
right.
that's it, Alec.
These are some
That's the
aggressive
music.
questions, by the way.
Yeah.
Like,
Wait, what kind of mood you in today?
Isn't there?
Well,
wasn't-
that didn't come from me. That came from the text. That's the 817.
I feel like the OG question of those was like, would you rather fight 1,000 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck?
Similar,
Yeah.
which I'd rather fight the duck-sized horses.
Would you?
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's fair. I would just like kind of smash them.
I just like, I mean, it's like whack-a-mole underneath you. It's fine.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what? I'm from Kentucky, and my favorite food is duck. I would never hurt a horse, and I would
What?
eat that duck. So let's go.
Kentucky is
go.
a strange place.
It is gorgeous, and it is strange in some pockets. That's
That's valid.
not necessarily false. Appreciate you being here. It was fun.
This was so good.
We got to do this again.
We do. It went by quickly. I have to get on the road now.
Absolutely.
We'll have to say goodbye. Yeah. Tell Mom, give her our love. Hopefully she's doing better.
Shouts out to Mama Charles.
There you go.
All right, guys.
While she's in the car, she can hear me solve college football's playoff problem. We'll do it next year on The Fan.